All right, so back on the Trans Am. You guys might have saw my other video. It's kind of a quick video. Just some other shop attempted to do a wide body kit on it. I basically cut everything off that they did. Here, just give you an example. This is their panels. See, it's all bare metal. This is what they use to shape the quarter. Look at how thick the Bondo they put on there, because they didn't know how to bend metal. They just kind of tack welded it together and then didn't treat it, left it all bare metal, and then just filled it with Bondo, and that's their attempt at the wide body. So I chopped the quarters off, chopped the inner wheel wells off, did Detroit Speed and Engineering inner wheel wells now. Got those cut. The whole rear package tray was sunk in, so I had to porta power it. Got it at a pretty good gap now. At least it's all level. The other one, this is a bolt-on piece for the package tray. They welded it. I don't know why, just kind of stupid. But this is another example. You're gonna love this. So this is part of the rocker that they extended out. They had like a rocker extension that went into the quarter, and they left it all bare metal. They only welded it every couple inches, and then they filled the seam with Bondo. And then as I'm literally ripping it up, I don't even have to like hammer it. I'm just ripping it up. It's all bare metal underneath it. They just clammed it right on top of the old rocker and just tack welded it on, and then just covered the seam with Bondo. And it looks like they just went and never even sanded it and primed it and said, there you go, there's your wide body kit. So we're getting closer, man. At least it's like, most of the misery is just about done on this thing now. Like, just, and it doesn't bother me, you know, like I don't care chopping a car up or whatever. I'm just sympathetic for the guy that spent so much money at the other body shop. So I'm just trying to be efficient and go the best way possible so he doesn't come super fucking out of pocket from what he's done before, you know. So trying to minimize the pain, I guess, as you would say. But this is kind of a quick update on the Trans Am wide body that I'm doing. All right, so you can see right here, I literally like put clamps on the piece of metal and just rip it off, like broke all their welds. Didn't even need to hammer it or nothing. So this is basically doing the inner wheel wells, so the deep tub. So if you guys are ever interested in like what would it take to do a deep tub on any car for that matter, this is the process. You have to cut the quarters off. We don't necessarily have to cut the quarters off. It's just easier. In this case, the quarters were, they welded all that shit on them, so I had to cut the quarters off. But you put the inner wheel well on, and in order to do all this correctly, you have to fit the inner wheel well to the outer, and then you keep having to take it on and off several different times. So if you notice the copper, that's a weld through primer. So anything that's bare metal, I do copper weld through primer. Even though it's never going to be seen, you got to make sure the corrosion protection's there. Then after everything's said and done, I actually do an epoxy primer over the inner wheel well that's never going to be seen once I put the quarter on it. So you'll see everything's test fitted, you know, welded. You can see the copper ring. Test fit the quarter one more time, both sides, pull it all back apart again before I weld the outer skins, and then I epoxy everything underneath, so I know that there's never going to be any rust on this car, and this guy's going to be good to go.